now we have one last deck that we're gonna build, and that is OTT. We don't have any Silent Toms, we don't have any CEO Amaterasu, so this deck is gonna be a mess. Of course, we keep Lozenge Mages. Alright, we have a good amount of the Cherry Blossom, so we're gonna throw her in. We have the Oracle Guardian Apollon, so he's good for recycling heal triggers if he's in the Vanguard, or if you just need to draw an extra card, you can do so. The Meteor Break Wizard is good for future cross rides, or if you boost with like a 7 or 8k, he can hit like 20 or 21. Alright, so we are gonna have leftover Cray Elementals, which is fine. We'll set triggers at the end, so let's just move on to grade 2s. Like I said, we don't have Toms, but we can do 3 copies of Wiseman, and then we can do our Promised Daughter. Promised Daughter is good because we can get 14k, and with like a 7k boost, that's 21. Good for attacking over a Kaiser. Who else do we have? When the attack hits a Vanguard Soul Blast 2, draw a card. Great. If your hand has 3 or more cards, it gets plus 3000. Also great. So let's get rid of all of our Cray Elementals. Alright, so this is going to be our grade 2 lineup. Not the best because we don't have Silent Tom, but it's still pretty decent. Alright, grade 1s. No perfect guards. We do have 2 Geminis, or Geminis, however you like to say it. We have Circle Mages. We have 1 Dark Cat. I think we run this card. Yeah, I might stick with this, because I'd rather have the 7k than the other units. Okay, let's not have 13 crits in our deck. So let's set the Cray Elementals to 4 heal triggers. Okay, so OTT has no way to get around grade 2s. So part of me wants to run a few stands, because this deck has no way of getting around the intercepts. What if I did 5 draws, 4 stands? No, I don't like that. 6 draws, 3 stands. I think we just YOLO it. Do I really need stand triggers though? Because defensively, I would want an extra card so that the next turn I can at least counterattack. Even I might not have any perfect guards, but it's still good for getting cards onto the field. Or if I have Apollon on my Vanguard and I draw a heal trigger, I can cycle it back and stall longer. Yeah, I think we play long run with the draw triggers. Yeah, let's confirm our deck and see what we got. So, we got our starting Vanguard, Lozenge Mages, the only starting Vanguard you should run for OTT. We have Circle Mages because she can see if we're gonna get a trigger or not. Also 7k, so good for boosting. We run 1 Dark Cat because we only have 1 Dark Cat. Let's say we use Circle Mages and we get a card that is not a trigger. We use Dark Cat, we draw that card, so now we can have a higher chance of getting a trigger. And we also have an extra card that we can use to be offensive. 2 Gemini, because that's our strongest card, but we only have 2 copies. We have Weather Girl Milk, because our hand is almost always going to have 3 cards in hand. I guess that's also why we have run 9 draw triggers, to ensure that we can have a full field while having 3 cards in hand. Really good. And then we have Cray Elementals, because every other card in our collection is not too good. Maybe good early game, but not good late game, so I'd rather have the 7k no ability boost. We run 2 of Mocha because our hand's gonna almost always be 3 or more. Good for defense. It can touch a Kaiser, Genocide Jack, or Brutal Jack. This card is good in case we need a draw card. Keeps the hand big. Not that we need it for a perfect card or anything. 3 Wiseman, because we only have 3. And then 4 Red Eye for Soul Charge. Not that we need it, because we don't need Soul Blasting. Except the Deer. We need it for the Deer. And 2 Promised Daughters. So if you do have too many cards in your hand, we can just drop a card and it gets plus 5000. And with a boost, it's gonna hit 21. 2 Sakuya. This is gonna be one of our main cards. So if we have like Circle Mages on the field and we place down Sakuya, we get it back into our hand, play it down again, and then we can check for a trigger. But it's good, like, if we're late game, I'm at 5 damage, and I draw a heal trigger. We got Apollon, who is good for recycling if I'm in the Vanguard circle, or if I'm in the rear guard, I just draw a card. Easy as that. So if I don't get Sakuya, or if Sakuya is all used, I have backup that I can use to recycle. Or if anything, I could use Apollon as the main. I don't know. Interchangeable. We have 1 copy of Meteor Break Wizard, because that's how bad our luck is, and with a boost it can hit 20 or 21 depending on who we put. we have a drop and draw card, and then we run 2 of these, which is pretty much a Brutal Joker. Counterblast 2 plus 4,000. And same as Sakuya, we put like a unit behind her, and it hits 20 or 21. And then we have our Cray Elementals, because we don't have any other cards to use, and they're heal triggers. Cool. So 9 draws, because our thing relies on drawing all the cards in our hand and then having a full field, and then also recycling, and then 4 heals, of course, because we need 4 heals, or else we're gonna die with no heal triggers, or with no perfect guards. So that is our deck. So now we have 4 not so great decks.